then we are happy. We're like, okay, cool, I know where I'm going. So it's a lot easier to get into those details. And even sometimes you improvise with those details. It makes sense because everything falls within the form that you're building. Now, this is the most important part about the course of the form, the still life course, where you have to get this little detail. You know that little, you see that little detail this part. I'm just gonna hatch it.
Yes.
This shows depth. This really shows depth. It's very, very important so that you don't end up with a flat surface. And I'm not saying that you should shade it, but essentially you should be able to draw things that look like they're caving in and they're going in. So that already, by just adding that little detail there, it already gives me an understanding that, hey, perhaps there is a little bit more to this thing. It's not just a flat surface. So I'm gonna get in here and get a little bit detail. I'm gonna zoom in. There's a cut that happens right here. And that cut, I need to capture it so that when anybody who's watching or who's looking at this, they can get the sense that there is some volume to this whole thing. That touches there. And people love calling this detailing. I don't like calling it detailing because detailing feels like it's something that is optional. This is form. This is what really gives the drawing that you're drawing a little bit more dimension, gives it a little bit more volume. Yeah, plus
A 2D drawing is easy, but the 3D drawing, oh my goodness.
yeah, you know where it should start. It should start with you. Just start with the box. Start with the box, and that's what we are trying to emphasize in that course. You know, to say start with the box. You can never go wrong. The box is your guiding line. The box is your the box is like your marker. You know, like you want to go home and you don't know the way to home, but the box really gives you that idea as to where should you start. Everything else falls within the box. Look at this line, this little line that I'm drawing. I never even had to look at it, but because everything is going that direction, right? Because everything is going that direction, and everything here at the bottom is going this direction. So all the lines within that will have to go in the same direction. There is no way that I could be here, and this is how I guide myself. I can notice already that this little line here is a little bit off, so I have to squeeze it a little bit further. Okay, cool. I'm almost done with this. Nice and easy, quick. So on this side, so the rule of the box is saying that if I am seeing this box like this, it's like you're creating a rule for yourself, and that rule will always guide you. If I'm seeing a box like this, or this is, for example, say, if I'm seeing a box like this, therefore I'm seeing at the top, I'm seeing on the left, and I'm seeing at the front. Which means if I'm going to create any cut inside there, the cut means that I need to see at the top, and I need to see on the right. There's the cut. Because my eye sees from the top, there's no way that I can see a box like this. And this is where I see a lot of mistakes, and that's because people don't pay attention. You find somebody who tries to draw, this is going to be very difficult for me to even draw. I don't even know how I'm going to do this. If you find somebody trying to draw something like this, it's visually impossible. You can't see the box from the top. but the details of the box you are seeing from the bottom. You cannot be in two places at the same time. So this is what this teaches us, that if you are at the horizon line and an aeroplane is above you, you can only see everything from that aeroplane from the bottom. There's no way that you can see the aeroplane from the bottom. But then again, when you draw the blades look like we are seeing the top of the blades, but everything else is from the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
So it's a rule. It's like a guiding light. It's a rule that helps you understand how you're going to be able to draw all of these things. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just gonna add these little tags. I'm not gonna draw those buttons. I hate buttons. They are repetitive, they are cumbersome, and they're just too much for me. Okay, cool. I got that. And I'm still using a pencil because I know most of you feel a lot more comfortable. And just to try to transition into digital, use a pencil. And then I'm just going to finish up with the forms here at the top, and then we're done with this exercise. We'll move on to something else. And try not to be perfect with all of these things. Just try to just draw something as best as you possibly can. You're not doing line work. This is line work. When you're trying to do this, that's line work. You know, that when you're doing comics, we're trying to get that perfect line. But right now we are sketching. So you can go over the line a couple of times, make it muddy if you want to. I always use this. Well, I just love it. It's very therapeutic for me anyway. I love hatching. This is the most fun part of art, you know, where we are able to just sketch new concepts or sketch new ideas. I can align a little bit.
I'll have to start over again because I've just been drawing and erasing and drawing and erasing. So
Sketch. No erasing. Sketch boldly, and we just really try to understand how things are built. There's no way that you can make a mistake, especially when you're drawing. Drawing is just it's an exercise of fail and try. But you can never know how much you had failed if you keep erasing everything. So what I'm just doing here, I'm just cleaning up my lines. I'm not erasing my lines as per se. As you can see, my lines are a little bit messy. Okay, cool. I want to get that cut quickly. A lot of these little cuts, for me, these cuts, they give volume to everything. Okay, cool. Okay, So my time is up with this exercise. But I believe we all get the concept. And notice, why am I darkening this line? So I'm also learning how to control my lines and to also show that something is being cut and it belongs there. So as you see how I draw this, the more thickness I create around, or the more dark I make that line around it, the more I kind of like represent that there's a hole created first, and there's a piece that was stuck in that hole. It's not one piece. So it's very, very important that we understand that information.
Okay.
So this is how things are built. Things are not built with one single piece. I'm just gonna let go of that part. Oh, look at this. So this really is what are we looking at? An S-curve. So during this exercise, we show you how to practice S-curves like this to get those hair in. You know, when you draw a hair, and C curves, and you're gonna see this repeating as well. And get a little bit more cartoony or more exaggerated, if I were to use that word. So practice that. That's also important, because here it is. I just literally drew over it now. It's an S curve. Hello to whoever just joined us. Is there any questions?
Still have to practice a lot more.
Yeah. Rotate. Shift space bar. Shift space bar helps you rotate and move. Sometimes you need to rotate your body. Sometimes you just need to rotate your body. Okay, and all that you just do, just clean up, erase what you don't need. Press 5 to take it back. This we'll dive a little bit deeper into these rhythms. These are called rapping lines. On the next. Okay, here it is. We are done. Okay, so it took me about 20 minutes. This is the beauty of starting everything with a box. I can never overemphasize that. Start everything with a box. Can you imagine how many things you're gonna be drawing and you'll be enjoying drawing simply because it just now it's a lot easier. Try not to see when people draw stuff like this, the first thing that they wanna see, they wanna draw is that little handle, and they start doing like this. You are driving without the coordinates. That's what's happening there. So when you've built a box, you've built a structure, the proportions will be correct, everything will work out because you've already built the structure. Anything that you're going to be building inside here or anything that you're going to be drawing inside here, it's just going to make sense and it's going to work out. Does that make sense? Cool.
Yes.
So now, then we do organic forms, all right? So I'm going to create a folder, add group, course 3. Okay, course 3. Course 3 is really linked to what we are drawing, but there's going to be less straight lines there and there's going to be more forms. Guys, is anybody based in Joburg? Because Joburg is super cold. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yes, I live in Centurion.
Oh my goodness, good luck to you. Okay, cool. So we've got hard surface here, and here we've got organic forms. So organic forms slightly take a different type of view. All right. So what we are learning inside organic forms is that okay, there will be less straight lines, but there will be more things that are built that look like they are forming naturally. You know, they are just these are trees. And organic forms are so important because it also, to some degree, not even to some degree, this also links to human forms have a human form. Right? Organic forms help us to understand that not everything is machine made. So that phone that we were drawing is cast inside a factory somewhere, and they make holes, they make the box, and then they start fitting in. So it's machine made, it's within a cast. So organic forms are things that generally grow by themselves, and they're mostly curvy most of the time. Sometimes we can call them soft forms because it uses more curves, but there's less manufacturing in the sense of cast straight lines, you know, and there's more things just take their own shape. They are fluid. So when we start this, it's important that you understand that first, an organic form, it could virtually be this. Let me start writing this. Okay, so you could almost say a sphere. Now we're going back to that first course as well again. You know, see how now everything is connecting, and I'm using ellipses, the same ellipses that I was practicing earlier on. Now they're still showing up. So you could almost say that things start off like that, and you have now another ellipse, but this time this ellipse will take a shape that almost goes away from you. Imagine this was a French roll. Is it a French roll? Yeah, a French roll. Sorry, I just only know Albany.
Hey?
I'm saying I just only know Albany. So imagine if this was a French roll. Okay, so your French roll will look like this. All right. But what are these things? So the key thing about organic forms, it takes its shape, right? It takes the shape. It could be an S curve, it could be a C curve, but the thing that really makes it so special is these wrapping lines. And this is what we're seeing. We are seeing these wrapping lines. So the wrapping lines are so magical. I'll tell you what they do. If I were to draw these two lines like this, right? I do this. There is nothing that tells me that these lines are going that way and these lines are going that way. Nothing. In fact, I could even place them right next to each other so that none of them have got any other advantage. Nothing. But I can literally, with information, I can say, and I could come down here. So when you're looking at this now, all of a sudden your eye is starting to play games on you. It's actually telling you that this is going that direction and this is going that direction. Why? Is because really what we are trying to do, we are cheating a system here. We are literally drawing cylinders. We are doing this. We just oversimplifying it by adding those wrapping lines. Do you see where the magic is? So we are still back at course 1. So this looks like it's open over there, and this looks like it's open underneath here. So you are sitting here, and you're looking at maybe you're holding a staff there. You're like a shepherd. And there's like a UFO over there, and you are looking at you're looking at this sphere from there. But then again, you are an alien somewhere in some planet over there, and you're looking down at that whole thing, and you're like, oh, what's going on over there? So this is what this helps us understand, that it's your viewpoint. It is basically, as an artist, you're telling people how to see things. You're forcing them how to see things. So now let's just get this thing done quickly, because we've still got 5 more to go. So it's winter. I found myself crushing these a lot. And yeah, of course, I just recovered. Well, I'm currently recovering from flu, but this was not going to stop me from meeting with you guys. All right, cool. So what are we looking at? We're looking at an S curve like that. So that's what we're doing that. And so we start with the outer shape, right? It starts with this S curve, and then we're looking at an S curve, another S curve. So this will be an S curve that goes in there. I'm getting too messy too quickly. Okay, sweet. I love that. All right, so that is the shape that we're seeing there. And then here we're looking at another S curve. All right, cool. Now let's start getting some shape around it. So this is a shape that is going there, and it goes here. And it comes down there. And see, I love doing this, because I could literally draw this without even having to be focused on what else is in the way. Okay, cool. So I'm going that shape. All right. So I'm gonna bring this down in there. Okay, so cool. Now, the key thing about all of this is now this wrapping line. So what I'm seeing here, so this is my spine. So we start with teaching you guys a spine. So this is my spine that is doing that. It kind of like starts, it opens up to me, and then from there, it kind of like dips down here, and it wraps like that. So it's almost, even when you're going to be doing I'm just going to lighten these lines a little bit, just so that I don't get too messy, and then I get just confused. All right, so I'm not completely erasing them. It's like you're using an H plan, and you just want to see where your constructions are. Okay, cool. I'll focus on the middle one, which is a lot more developed. So, and this is almost, this is done for you. You've got all these little elements, that is just even a bonus. So what these wrapping lines do, they basically tell us what's going on here. And that it changes direction on us. So at this point, you could almost say, now we're going back to that concept of horizon line. Once the line starts getting straight, you are almost looking at, once the line starts getting straight, it's a horizon line. So this over here starts getting straight, and now this starts changing. This starts changing direction, and this is gonna start changing direction, and this is gonna start changing direction, and it goes away from us. Yeah, cool. Lighten this whole thing. Okay, let's get into it. That is hiding behind everything. So the curve will go like that. If it was being revealed, the curve will be like that, because I've learned that things that are going away from me, they do that. And then I'm going to come back. I'll get my spine going. Oh. And that's more like it. And then that starts getting Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. The line starts changing here drastically, but it almost starts doing that. So even when you're drawing a tree, you'll see trees have got that shape. They do this, they go that direction, and they go that direction. So, but if you start thinking of it as things that do that and things that do that, and sometimes they kind of like open up, and there's also like what we call like a second spine to this thing. So in here they start changing direction. Do you know what I mean? So it almost feels like they are it's like it's opening and then it's opening again. So it's very, very important that you also understand that. Then this is then almost when you're drawing a sphere and you've got a sphere, and that sphere you are doing this. And you are saying that the north pole of that sphere is there. You're looking at the sphere from the top. All right, so these will start doing this. Oopsie. And like a what do you call it? A globe. That's what you're looking at here. This is this. Everything starts from here. I'm just gonna move a little bit faster. Okay, let's go away. So the cool thing about this stuff is that you're not only just observing still life, but you are learning how to draw this from even never having to look at it ever again. So because you are learning a few other tricks about these things, it's like almost like learning an anatomy of it. Oh, this is so interesting. So notice there's a bump here, and that bump usually will help you understand that this is how this comes in there. But more than anything, this bump will really play a role when you start shading, because that informs what we call form. So it gets a little bit darker here, and then it opens up, it gets a little bit lighter there. And once it starts opening up and getting a little bit lighter there, you start knowing that it's up, it's getting more sunlight, which basically means that it's more open. It's more open, or it's more higher. Okay, cool. That's my ginger root quick sketch. We are done. So organic shapes take that form, like it looks like it's coming to you, it looks like it's going away from you. It's slightly, it could almost feel like it's playing a game on you, it almost feels like it's playing a game on you, but it's not. It's just a visual representation of understanding where things are going, away from you or towards you, or right in the middle there. It's so easy to understand this from that perspective, that things, they look like they're going in or out, in or out, in or out. What's the time? Ooh. Okay, cool. So that's what we cover within the organic surface course. But let's recap a little bit. Where did we start? We started with these warm-ups, right? These warm-ups are literally are there to help us, because we're going to draw quite a lot the same things, either a C curve or a straight line, and we're doing these straight lines or we're doing these C curves. It's very, very important because they're going to show up. So for the straight lines, they're going to show up in the hard surfaces a lot, even some other little parts of the hard surfaces. Not little part, but a lot of little parts. If you're drawing headphones, you're going to see curves. And